Hey you, I heard you want to know how to make some plants. Well, good news for you. It's quite simple. All it takes is a few steps to make any form of type of plant you want. That could be trees, bushes, or maybe little flowers. Other type of plants. They're all basically the same structure of actually creating them. And you will be learning that today. Okay, so we're gonna get straight into this. This is basically a very intermediate type of tutorial where it's not exactly beginner level or super advanced, but you know, it's right in between where it's that little mark of like in between of being a beginner and an expert. This is where you kind of just start learning like more nice structures for how to make plants in general. All plants are basically the same. They all have the same two structures if you're trying to, you know, make them look simple. When you're trying to make plants in this game, you kind of want to make them simple. You don't want to make it like every single leaf is its own thing. Like, you want to be very, very simple without adding too much. And they usually follow the lines of two different structures, which I like to call, well, cotton candy, which is when you have multiple leaves on there, you kind of just create a ball of like grass, as it might look like, and it's just kind of like a big ball of it. And that is what I like to call the cotton candy structure, to simulate a bunch of leaves in one place. Plants otherwise with a lot less leaves, and you can probably count them, would just have leaves as their structure. Usually this would be like, let's say a palm tree. You know how they sprout out from the top? They will show like that. Or maybe flowers, you can see the petals, and that's also going to be considered leaves. They're all made in the same way, and this is what you're going to learn. Alright, so first off, in your designing and creating a plant of any form, you want to know where the root is. So all plants are gonna basically be in one, like, all have to end up in one compact spot. Usually it's like a little stem on the ground, or, you know, bark, log, whatever it is. And maybe it doesn't even have stems, and it's just a leaf with multiple leaves that kind of lead into the same spot. That's how a lot of people make it. We're gonna just quickly start with how you can make good looking textures and colors for it. Personally, I really like using brown color and then using the carpet, and then raising up the size up here a little. So carpet and brown color, and it doesn't need to be a particular brown color, but I recommend doing that. And you use tube, and the tube settings I will recommend that you need to turn on beforehand is uniform shapes. Make it the tube radius not huge, but like make it like small to the point where you can like rescale it if you wanted to, because most of the time you're probably just going to use the 2.0 tubes where you can see the points and you double edit the thing, and you'll be scaling it by doing this, right? So this is going to be more on how you actually form up your thing instead of doing it in one run. And once you get your color, also just create a swatch, please. It'll make it easier. Now you need your plant color, which if you're making flowers, like, you kind of got to determine what color, but I recommend still using carpet, and the material size still the same. For me, I'm going to be making a form of a plant, so I'm going to use this tone of green and create a swatch for that too. Alright. Now, with your tube settings, the tube radius should be a 1 if you're trying to make a stem, right? But otherwise, put that at like 2.1, not 2.1, 2.2 or 2.1. 2.2 is better, I'd say. And this is basically how you would create your leaves. And I'm going to get started with leaves as like this is the stem part. So imagine a like big like leaves that are kind of like on the floor and they're all kind of going to compact together. That's what I'm going to make first, just to show this off. So create one little one, make one slightly bigger, and then kind of just continue your way like this. Alright, this should be a complete leaf. Now, what I'm going to do is make it so it gets bigger through the plant, right? So it gets bigger and then smaller again. Maybe I want to move it because maybe it's a little too tilted, right? So there we go. This is what I want. And I see it's kind of like awkwardly kind of leaning. I like the leaning a little, but I kind of don't like it at the same time. I will use the move tool to just, you know, make my changes like this, and you move the falling points. There we go. So that's your little quick little leaf. And the way I'm going to finish this off is by just simply cloning the plant and flipping it around. It all should end up in this small little pile, kinda. So let me just move them all together a little bit more because they're kind of separated. And I'm going to create one more, but it's going to be perfectly looking this way. Well, two more, I guess. Actually, no, just one more. Like that, yeah. And now I'm just going to quickly flip this. And boom. Very simple starting plant, right? Make sure with all your plants, because I don't think you need them environmental, make them decorational once you complete them. Because most of the time, creators will just make plants decorations, right? So this would be how you do it. Next, we're going to be talking about how to actually create the stem part after we've done the leaves. So with leaves like this, let's say, let's make a flower now. So we're going to still use this green texture, right? But we're going to bring back the scale to 1. And I will create one of these first. Move it upwards a bit. And now kind of shift it forward with a few of these tubes, additional tubes. Alright. Like that. Now I'm going to change the size. Make it more thinner. Like this. Kind of gets a little big at the end, but that's really it. Yeah, like this. This is how I'm going to do it. Straighten it a little. There we go. Straighten a little. And now, we create our leaves again. And I'm going to do 2 different types of leaves. I'm going to do the same exact leaf here, but make it smaller. So, I forgot to change the size. Change the size. quickly create one of these. And if you do have the setting, you can use tube analog mode to raw or brush, so you can like also use your trigger. I know if you're on PC or something, you can't really determine the size on this, right? But if you were, you could try to do that, and you might be able to skip a few steps. But also, it's always good to readjust what you've done and improve it a little, like this. There we go. So let me just kind of put this together. Clone it again, like I did last time with that one, but with this, I'm going to do it fewer times though, and do it that way. Make it more circular. And this is a little sprout, then it the stem kind of goes up. And let's say I kind of want a few of these leaves to appear on the middle side. I will just take one of these simply, and let me make it a little smaller. Scale it down, like that. Clone it over here, place it over here. Grab another, place it right here. One more, place it right here. Boom. And now we will make the flower itself. Now, here is my personal idea of making a flower. I will just use a different color tone, carpet or gravel, and then use the spear, right? Take the spear, place the spear on the end of here, and then flatten it like this. And now, edit it again. I don't know why I've done editing. We create, go back to the tube. And now we're going to select the color for the flower. I'm going to make it this dark red. Nope, this dark red's too dark in my opinion now. I'll make it just red. And we will just be doing this once again. Whoops, that wasn't what was supposed to happen. Oh yeah, whenever that happens, by the way, don't press undo, because it won't undo it when it connects the nearby tube. It will just delete the whole tube for no reason. You have to go manually into the points and do that. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, and Rec Room, please fix it. It would be very nice. Alright, so therefore, I'm just going to create it here. Let me make it like kind of bend like this. Alright. Now let me shorten that. Resize this a little. Alright, then we should be good to go. So we start placing our little petals. And, well, see how it's off center. I would just hold and grab it and then just place it yourself instead if that's going to happen. It will save you time, but also it's not even that much harder to do. If you can, try to square it so you don't have this issue though. It would make it a lot easier. So your snap can easily just clone, flip, and then you can easily get the rotation you want. This works too, and it's not really bad either. It's just slightly more tedious. And there you go. This should be like an end result flower. I'm going to move this one out a little bit more. Yeah, like that. Alright, and this is how you kind of just make your flower with leaves, right? Quite simple flower. Looks nice. Gets petals, everything. Alright, now we have to create our trees. And, well, in particular, if you're trying to make a palm tree, you can probably use the leaf method, right? But we're not going to create a palm tree. We're going to create like a normal like little like tree that kind of has like a bushy top on it. And I would say that would be like an oak tree. So let's go back to our swatches, get that brown back. And then now with our tube settings, put it back to a 1. Oh, no, not that one. This one to 1. And let's create the little stump. Here's a real easy way to do this. I would love to just say that you will just insert points in for making the stump in particular. I just prefer doing this because it makes it easier to make it straight by default. And that's what I want to do. So you select multiple points at once, options, and then you press insert point, and it will insert a point in between all of them to select. Very, very straightforward and very easy to use. Alright. When you're creating a little tree stump, though, make it small at first, right? So start with just a small little thing. It will make it easier on you, more easier on you than you think. So just kind of create it small, and then whenever you're ready, enlarge it and see how it looks like, and then make your adjustments following there. I want to say, let's create like one of those stumps where it kind of continues on like this. So I'm going to have a little bit of the bottom here, support the ground, kind of roots. Now I want something to connect through here, so like little branches. You don't want too many branches because most of them are just you won't even really be able to see, right? So just kind of make a few till that the player can see like under the tree. Now this is how you do your little cotton candy. Let's go to the color we want. It's really simple. All you need to do with a full shape like this, create 1, create 2, and slightly tilt it like that, and that's really it. Nothing really else after that. You create those 2 points. Let's make it bigger. And then what you do is start cloning them. Make it a little smaller. This is too big. Alright, like that. And what you do is just start cloning it, wrapping, and just start wrapping the tree with this until it's like a little, not complete ball, but like a little bit like space in between type of ball shape, you know? Like this. This is all you need, really. Just like 4 of them at once, and then you got your little ball shape. This is very good for just a low poly tree. And it's good to have in the background. But what if your players are more closer and you want more detailed? This is a method that I don't really use personally that much, but a lot of people do. Use ribbon, and you kind of create those 2 angles like I did there. Scale it up as well. And then just kind of like place it in here and create a few of those. Whoops, grabbed the wrong one. Nope, actually, there's a lot easier way to do that instead of just piling in there. Well, I don't know what. It's cloning, that's why. I'm dumb. Okay, ignore the fact that I forgot I was using the clone tool. You just kind of like, just keep it out there, and then you can kind of just clone it outside from there, and just, that would be a lot easier. I should have thought that a lot sooner. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. So, yeah. Just whatever thing you're going to be cloning multiple times, instead of trying to clone it within the shape, just leave the shape itself outside straight, and then you can clone it and then bring it over here. Alright, I think I only need one more anyway. And that's our little slightly more detailed tree with the ribbon. Alright, let's scale it up and see what it looks like, right? I noticed we can't see our little branches. And I noticed that the tree is a little small when it comes to the branches, not the plant part. I'll just simply clone up the plant, select all of those at once, and make my adjustments by making it larger. This seems about right, maybe a little bit smaller. No. Yeah, like that. And now we can also see our little branches that we made. One thing I also noticed that the textures seem a little off, and I want to make them a little different because they feel weird. I feel like they're too small, right, for the scale that we got. That's simple. Just go back to your recolor, whatever you had, and just make the number bigger. And I'm just gonna start doing this, recoloring them. This should end up looking better. And I don't know. It's weird because the texture looks different. Some people think it looks ugly, but personally, this is just how a lot of creators do it, and in my opinion, it looks great. Due to your personal preference, I'm gonna make the tree bark a little bigger as well. There you go. That's all. And that is how you make your little tree. That's the cotton candy method as well. So there you go. You learned your two methods of making plants. Whatever plant you want to make, just kind of think about, like, should you use cotton candy or the leaf method? Because, well, they're just all the plants are going to end up in one or the other. And I feel like the only difference is using the leaf method for little vines, if that makes any sense. Like little long vines that you can, like, move around. But that's really it. It's very simple. And you don't want to make it too complex. Don't overthink it. This is all you really need for plants. And that is how you create plants. Very nice plants. That's all you need to do. It's a lot more simple, right? Alright, now you know the method. Go do it. Make some of the greatest plants of all times in your rooms. Alright, bye!